at the without decrypting the traffic. The other thing that we will able to also see is the certificates. Okay, so certificates, I mean the one that I showcase right now, the Bub tool, the certificate. So those kind of certificate, let's say let's say you are trying to communicate with Facebook.com, and the Facebook.com send out you a certificate. So that certificate again, you can kind of see that in decrypted format. Okay, like few details, like what are the cert details, like who is the subject, who is the issuer, who is the organization. So those all details you can look at the certificate level, and this is actually the session layer. If you remember at the OSI part when we were discussing, this is coming from the session layer. So this is also we can look at. The only thing that you can't look at is the application layer. You will be totally blind. Okay, you're totally blind at this part. You can't see any kind of traffic at the application layer. So here over here, we are seeing that data in. So this data is coming out from the application layer in decrypted format. But if you don't have that device, you can not see this data in decrypted format. You can only see this kind of data, like the IP address, TCP ports, and the certificate. So let's quickly do one practical and let's see if that thing really makes sense. So what I will do is I close this box. I will also go to the settings, and let's say I will go to the proxy, and I will just turn off that proxy because now I don't want that proxy. We say no proxy, okay, no proxy, and then I'll just turn it off. And now what I will do is that I will go to the activities, and let's say I'll go to the Wireshark, and let's say I'll open this up. So let it open. In the meantime, let me just quickly see if I can just go ahead with this one. So I will just see like if the Facebook is still accessible. So I think it's still accessible, and let that Wireshark just quickly fire up. So again, let's say I'll just again try to execute that up. So Wireshark, and I think there's some issues. I'll try for last time. If not, we'll continue the discussion. Okay. Wireshark. Anyways, it's not working. So it's what the other way around is like, let's say I go to a terminal. And just turn it on. And in this terminal, I can write Wireshark, and let's try to execute that by this way. Okay. So Wireshark ampersand means that it will be running as a root privilege most of the time. So the Wireshark has started, but the GUI is not showing up. So I think it is taking some time to kind of load up. But there are other ways also to kind of do that. So let me just quickly see that what would be the other ways. Maybe so there's some issues with this lab. I think it has been kind of loaded up, quite loaded up. So let me just load this up. Okay, anyways, let's not waste time in kind of figuring if it gets started by the time we are discussing, it's all fine. Else we will kind of see that thing in action in the next class. Okay. So overall, what I mean to say is that let's say a computer one is trying to visit Facebook.com, and there is no kind of detection device in place. Then also, you as a security professional, if we have the PCAP file, we can actually see a lot of details. Okay. The details will be the IP address in plain text. So the IP address will be the IP address of the Facebook server. Okay. So there's something we can see. The port number. So let's say that if the client is visiting Facebook over HTTPS, so the ports number we can see. So the source port would be something like, let's say 5, something like that. And the destination port will be something like 443. Okay, so this is something we'll look at. The certificate also we can see in plain text. And this is something we can look at. I think the Wireshark is running. Now let's quickly turn it on. And let me just quickly do something like, let's say Let me just quickly do something like I go over here, I just over here, I open a new tab. Okay, I do ls and I go to desktop, I do ls, I go over CCAP, I do ls, and then I go to web server. Let's see. Check internet. Let me just cat check internet. Okay, so in this check internet, what I'm doing is if I just open this file, so what I will do is that I will, let's say, I will use facebook.com and let's say I add this up. Okay, so why the reason I'm accessing the facebook.com over script, the only reason is that the lab is now loaded up. If I open the Firefox browser again, maybe it will just hang up. Okay, so rather than visiting the website from a browser, I am trying to visit the website via the terminal, via the script. Okay, so that's the only reason why I'm picking this script. Okay, just to generate some traffic towards the facebook.com. So if I just clear and if I do Python 3 check internet.py, and what I will do is that I will quickly restart the packet capture. So let me just quickly do that, continue without saving, and then I go over here and I do internet. So it is going to there. Okay.
So can you also
go on?
so can we also use the command CCAP?
Actually, I think there's quite a bit echo from your end. So maybe you can just maybe turn off if there's any mic, any second mic
What
over there. Yeah, go on.
So
Yeah,
what I'm saying is like we can also use the wget command to like visit a
Ah,
website,
yes,
right?
yes. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. So even without the script, obviously, yeah, that thing didn't came into mind. So even without that script, you can kind of, yeah, thanks for saying that. You can kind of generate that traffic using wget command. So that actually is a correct thing. So if you see that there's a DNS query, and now thing is that you see that okay, I haven't have, let's say this is the pcap file that I got, and I don't have the detection device in place. But here I can figure out just from the pcap file that the DNS packet was toward there was a query toward the domain of facebook.com by the client, and this was the response that was received for that IP address. Okay, so for this IP address, this was the answer. So this is the IP address which the client will reach out to for the Facebook server, and then I see that there are multiple data that is going back and forth. And over here, I see that there is a if you see client hello server hello. So this is something I will be kind of looking at later. But thing is that this is where the both the session, like the client and the Facebook, is actually setting up a secure session over here. Okay, so this is where the transport layer security TLS is in place, and they have set up a successful session. And once that is done, so in the client hello, we can actually see a lot of details. Let me just see if so it will tell me a lot of things like what will the encryption that algorithm that they will use to kind of encrypt the packets. So those are the thing. And also the thing is that as I told that we see the IP address and we also see the source port and destination port. So we see the source port is 52074 and the destination port is 443. So even without getting the actual data that was getting transferred over here. So if I go back, you see the lot of data that is going back and forth, but we are not able to see that because it's all encrypted. It is HTTP over TLS that is showing up. It is all encrypted traffic, but we can figure out a lot of details, right? We can figure out the source port, destination ports, source IP, destination IP, and maybe also a certificate. So the certificate I think was not captured, but I can kind of maybe what to say, I can get a PCAP sample later next class. I can show that thing to you. But over here, thing is that we, as I have told over here, the IP address, port numbers and all, it will be totally visible to you in plain text, and which we can kind of figure out from here. Okay, so this is how you will approach an incident when you don't have the detection device in place and you can't see the data